And right now we are at Bloomingdale's in New York City. That's on 59th Street in Lexington. And there seems to be a protest that has been taking place right now. We have pro-Palestine protesters on one side. I'll show you. We have pro-Palestine protesters on one side, wearing the Palestinian flag. And on the other side, we have pro-Israel, pro-America protesters on the other side. What I'm going to try to do, I was just informed of this protest not too long ago. So what we want to do is I want to try to speak to both sides and ask them why they're out here, trying to get an understanding of their motivation behind the causes that they're standing behind, and see if we can engage in good dialogue, pick their brains. All right, so I'm gonna cross over. Here we go. All right. All right, everybody. Hopefully y'all can hear me. If y'all can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. If y'all can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. I will be taking super chat donations. If anyone wants to put a question in the chat and want me to ask, I'll be taking super chat donations. If you want to ask a question, we're gonna see what people have to say out here. Hey everybody, you mind if I ask you a few questions?
I don't answer the question.
No? Would you mind if I ask you a few questions?
What type of question?
Well, one, hi, how you doing? My name is AG. I'm with the Experience Show. I like to document people's thoughts and opinions about anything and everything. So I was just made aware of this protest that's happening. I'm trying to go to both sides to talk to people. And I want to know what brought you out here today and why.
Let me ask you a question. I see
Yes.
you have a Jewish star on you. Are you a Jewish brother?
I am a Jew.
You're a Jew. Are you a Jew that supports Israel, or are you a Jew that is more the anti-Zionist crowd that tends to side with them?
I actually don't side with either side.
Actually, as a Jew, this should be very, very clear. I mean, as a Jewish individual, our home is the state of Israel. It's our ancient homeland. All what we want is to live in peace over there. And to be honest, I mean, I don't respect any Jew that doesn't believe that in their heart. Doesn't mean you have to believe everything the Israeli government does. Doesn't mean you can't have compassion for Palestinians or other people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we are one of the most hated and discriminated people on earth. Everybody has a right to live in their homeland and to live in peace, and we deserve that right as well. They refuse that right, and that's why I disavow all those people that are over there.
So then, since I'm a Jew that wants to stay neutral, I have my own personal.
Thing as neutral. They don't consider you neutral. Did the Nazis consider Jews that didn't side with the religious people in Germany neutral? They rounded up everyone. They had Jews that fought in World War I. They had medals that fought for the German army. Everyone was rounded up. Communists, capitalists, religious, secular, professors, everyone. Your Jew is like your tattoo on your body. Whether you want to remain neutral, that's something that you think, but they don't think that. At the end of the day, Hamas is going to come for you. The Nazis are going to come from you. The white supremacists are going to come from you. They're all going to come from you. And you have to realize that the only place you're going to have protection is in the state of Israel and with people of your community. It doesn't mean you have to hate them. You have to hate all these other people. I don't hate anyone, but I realize the pride that I have in my heritage and my religion, and that denying, no level of self-denial is going to refute that fact, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I say I'm neutral is because, for me, being a Jew is not a religion. It's actually a race of people. So when I say I'm a Jew, I know that I descend from one of the tribes of Israel, specifically the tribe of Asher. So the reason why I say I'm neutral is because from our beliefs, we don't think that people can convert to the culture of my ancestors. I don't believe that we are able to just have people be born of their mother. Like for instance, the Torah in the book of Numbers, Moses said that you are a Israelite determining on the seed of your father, never your mother. All throughout the Torah, all throughout the Tanakh.
Right now, we live in a world of rabbinic Judaism,
all throughout the Torah,
traces Judaism.
All throughout the Torah, all throughout the Torah, and all throughout the Tanakh, it never once says, nor was anyone ever given permission or authority to change what Moses has set in terms of the lineage of your forefather. So the fact that people are going based off rabbinical speakings or teachings goes against what God established in the first 5 books of Moses. So that's why I say I'm neutral, because I don't think that people who are born of a Jewish mother makes them a member of one of the 12 tribes of Israel, which is a race of people that God chose.
Yeah, but that's not.
So I like to stay neutral because I want to. It's not incorrect if you go through biblical and historical facts. So that's why I like to stay neutral. I only want to get people's thoughts, have them share their thoughts, and that way I can share them with my audience. I don't want to have to pick a side. I just want to hear what people have to say. Now,
I'm a supporter of the state of Israel. I was born a Zionist. I'm going to die a Zionist. And I completely condemn anyone, whether they're non-Jewish, whether they're Jewish, that look at Jewish people and refuse our right to exist in our ancient homeland. If you condemn the Jewish right for self-existence in our ancient homeland, you need to condemn every other person out there as well. Don't just look at us and condemn us. You have to condemn everyone.
I understand. I think everyone should be held accountable for the things that they've done. Now, you said something that I would like to ask about. You said that you were born a Zionist. What does it mean to be a Zionist?
As I mentioned before, Zionism is basically the belief that Jewish people have the right to live in peace and self-determination in their ancient homeland. That's it. It's a very simple, you understand what I said, right?
Yes, I do.
It's a very, very simple determination. There's no other hidden meaning. It's not about Zionists control the world. That's all blood libels and nonsense. It's simply the fact that Jewish people have the right to live in their biblical homeland in peace.
Okay.
And self-determination. That is it. And that's what I believe.
Why do you think so many people have an issue with the term Zionist, or with what some say the Zionist
because
movement?
It's been co-opted. I mean, you could take any single word out there, right? For example, Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. Let's look at that.
Not a
word.
fan of that either.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. I believe Black Lives Matter. 100%. But I don't believe in the Black Lives Matter organization. So you could take
That's what I meant.
word.
I don't believe in the organization.
Yeah. So you could take any word and you can manipulate that word to mean whatever you want. So you have a lot of Jew haters out there on the left and the right that utilize the term Zionism, especially on the left, they utilize the term Zionism as a means of colonial oppression, white colonized, white colonial oppression, right? That's what they say. That's actually a wrong interpretation. That's not what the historical interpretation of Zionism is. But to answer your question, why do people have such a negative view of it? It's because in the popular culture, especially on the radical left, they're taking this word, which has a beautiful meaning, and they're corrupting it into this very negative meaning. Zionists are not colonial occupiers. You can't colonize what's already yours, number one. And number two, Zionists aren't particularly white people. You have white people, you have brown Jews, you have black Jews, you have Asian Jews. We don't judge Judaism based on the color of your skin. We judge it based on the belief system that we hold dear. So they look at a very superficial level of it and they try to corrupt it, and that's pretty much that.
In terms of accountability, you said that there's some people who are corrupting Zionists, or the word Zionism, or the movement and the belief behind it. What should people who are proud to be Zionists do to those people that are corrupting the thing that they believe in and hold so dear?
Honestly, that's a very hard question to answer, but the only thing that we can do is stand up for what we believe in, right? Stand up for the state of Israel, stand up for our beliefs, and try to dispute them every time that we have a chance. But, you know, they have a lot of money on their side. You have organizations funded by Qatar and by Soros pushing these lies. So it's very, very hard to actually dispute that, because the more a lie is repeated and the more financial backing you have behind it, the more it gets accepted in society. So we do our best to try to refute it, but in our heart, in my heart, in Zionist heart, we know what we believe is truth, and we stand by what we believe in. Anyway, that's it. I appreciate everything, man.
Thank you. Be safe out here. All right.
You have Instagram?
I do. It's AG.
Oh, hold on. Let me just, I'm not going to add you, but let me just write it down. I'll add you later, and I'll send you a DM. You know?
Yes, definitely.
And then anytime you want to chat, I have a Zionist friend.
I'm part of an organization where we like to hold discussions and sit downs with people of different beliefs.
Okay.
And we would love to speak to someone
Hold on.
that's pro-Zion.
So you know what? Let me open my email. Why don't you type in your name and Instagram over here, and I'll just send you a DM.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it's
easier for you.
Hold on, everybody. Just putting in my information. So I put my email is crossthelineradio@gmail.com.
What's your Instagram?
AG, the number 1, the word West, like the direction. AG1 West.
And what's your name?
My name is AG.
Oh, your name is AG.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the name. That's the abbreviation.
like
It's
my
Ashar Gapan, which means the vine of happiness in Hebrew. Pleasure meeting you. All right, thank you. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm from New York City, born and raised.
What are you videoing? Who are you videoing? Who are you representing?
I'm representing myself. This is the Experience Show, where I like to document people's thoughts and experiences about anything and everything in life.
Okay, so what do you need to know?
So I would like to know, what do you think about the sign that they had over there that says anti-Israel is not anti-Semitism?
Okay, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
They might be Hasidic. However, the Hasidic community has excommunicated them. They are excommunicated Jews.
That particular group?
Yes.
The
They
fake
are
Jews.
They are what they call the Neturei cards. No, they're not fake Jews, but they don't believe. They believe their firm belief that Israel is not to be until the Mashiach comes, the Messiah.
Okay.
They can believe that.
Is that proof in the Bible or the Torah, the Tanakh that they
Okay,
utilize?
so just as in the Quran, everything is open to interpretation,
Okay.
and that's how they interpret it. But the thing is that we need that by law. I mean, by ethnicity. If French are from France and Persians are from Paras, from Iran, Jews are from Judea. Judea is Israel. And that's the bottom line. Not the Hasidim, but these other ones that are wearing what we call rape rags are kafiyas. Kafiyas are actually the things that they
The scarf you're talking about?
in Dubai, wherever. If you properly wear them, that's a kafiya. What they have around their faces, not the Hasidim, not the Neturei
The other
cards.
protesters.
Yes, those protesters, those are what we call rape rags because they represent rape. And no, that's not resistance.
You said rape?
Rape, yeah, rape rags because that's like a swastika.
Okay.
It's the same thing. If you do not know what you're wearing, if you do not know what you're wearing, you shouldn't be wearing it. If you do not know what you're protesting, you should not be protesting. They don't know. They think it's cool.
So, where do you
Costume.
think?
It's a costume.
Where do you think they're getting the idea that kafia is something that should be worn? If what you're saying is that it's tied to sexually assaulting people.
Okay, so let me explain. Hamas, the Gazan people chose Hamas over 20 plus years ago.
Since 2005.
No, they
Since
right,
2005,
right.
Gaza
Okay, and
was
we
given to them by Israel.
unilaterally pulled out of Gaza. We unburied our dead, everything. Okay, we left our greenhouses there. I was there. I lived there.
And our infrastructure, the plumbing.
Yeah, exactly. We left all of that there.
Farms.
And in hopes that they would utilize it and actually build something and grow something, and they didn't. Hamas came in and destroyed it completely, and they built tunnels. The entire New York subway system. Think about how big that is.
Yeah, it goes to 5 boroughs.
Yeah, okay, so imagine a quarter, maybe even less, of a place that size with tunnels underneath. They chose to build bigger, longer tunnels. There's more tunnels than there are subway tunnels and routes here in New York City. I understand that, okay? They don't know what they're protesting. They have no idea. If somebody were to throw a backpack and yell Allahu Akbar,
People would normally think of it as a
they
bomb,
wouldn't
and they would
even know what
run.
to do. They wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't even know. If they've been to Coachella, if you've been to Coachella, the music festival in California,
Yeah.
or any music festival that might last 3 days.
Like Burning Man or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Burning Man is a good example. Okay, that was Nova. That was 7th of October, 2023.
And they were all liberals who went to these dance festivals.
Okay,
Everybody
but
was about peace.
No,
it
but
was
it
about
was-
peace
yes.
and getting along. It wasn't about getting raped and being genocided.
And what
okay?
happened is that you had Hamas came in with they attacked the kibbutzim and the yeshuvim that were the surrounding the communal living settlements, and they went in there and they burnt families alive. They shot, they raped, they shot, they executed in front of family members. They did this at the Nova Festival, like Burning Man. I mean, if these kids actually went to a Burning Man and had a situation like that happen, they would be freaked out. They would be completely, utterly terrorized.
To be unprepared.
Yeah, completely unprepared, because actually everybody at the Nova Festival, actually, I'm willing to bet 70% of them actually had some military background. And think about that. They all had. If you live there, if you were born and raised there, you have to do military
But
service.
people were from all over there. They came
Right,
in from Argentina.
from Nova.
We know
Right.
that from
No,
the
I
Philippines.
understand that. That's why I said 70% of who was there.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you take these kids and you put them in the Burning Man festival, and then you take Hamas that will come over and do all of this.
And execute them.
And
They
execute
wouldn't
them.
know what to do.
No, they wouldn't.
No.
They would be completely, utterly terrorized. And then they would learn. Maybe they would actually learn something. But the whole thing is that these schools, these kids were raised in a generation where they were not taught
History.
history. They were not taught Western civilization. They do not know anything. They cannot give you even 5 pertinent historical facts about Israel. They can't give you 5 pertinent historical
About Lebanon, about Syria, about any of the communities surrounding it. About the war, wars. How many wars?
Never mind Lebanon. Never mind Syria. But they cannot give you. If they're going to protest something, you need to be able to give 5 facts, 10 facts about side A, 10 facts about side B, and 10 facts about the entire picture.
Like a non-biased point of view.
To form an opinion, for you to form an opinion,
not be brainwashed.
you need to know your facts.
Not to be
Period.
brainwashed by TikTok or by propaganda media, Al Jazeera, or you have to. She lived in Israel. I never lived in Israel, but again, my father, I always say, fought in World War II. They're turning over in their grave. They would never want to see anybody burning an American flag, protesting
That's
against
something
Israel,
else.
burning
When
American
I was
flags.
a little girl, and when she was a little girl, when she was younger, but when I was 4, I learned. My dad would take me to the voting polls.
In Israel?
Okay, no, here.
Oh, here,
in the
okay.
States, in the United States. My dad told me that if you burnt an American flag, you could be put into jail for something like 3 years. That's what I knew. And I found other Gen Xers that are under the same belief. Well, guess what? Apparently, somewhere recently, I don't know how long ago, but that all changed. And burning flags became freedom of speech.
And it's not freedom of speech, it's a desecration of all the veterans that came before that sacrificed their lives for freedom. And as my dad said to me, I'll quote him, landing in bloody water and body parts. These people know nothing about World War II. They know nothing about Vietnam. Yes, some of our government and some of our leadership had alternative motives, poppy fields, drug dealing, whatever. Hopefully Trump will take care of that. Now that we have this gentleman from Venezuela,
Dictator.
right?
He's a dictator.
He's a dictator.
President Maduro?
But all that information is in that guy's head about child trafficking, organ trafficking, drug trafficking, and all the people that he's entitled and connected to. And I hope that's the most important part of taking this dictator from Venezuela.
Okay.
to find out that intel and information and arrest all the people in the United States, China, Cuba, wherever, whoever has this information. And Donald Trump is he's gonna do that. His team and the leadership are gonna find all this out. And they're gonna be arrested and thrown in jail, shot in front of a firing squad, I don't know what. But these people are treasonous bastards, and they've harmed humanity, all of humanity, right? Children, everyone, parents. It's just horrible.
Now I have a question for you. Whenever I see someone wearing a "Make America Great" hat, right? I always like to ask the question: what period in America are they referring to when they want to make it America great again?
I want to get rid of. You mean what period was great again?
Yes.
Probably when I was born. Probably in the 1950s, 60s. Those periods where you only needed one job per household and mothers raised their families. It was very traditional. You know, where Wonder Bread was like, I don't know, 19 cents a loaf, maybe. Where milk was, I'm trying to think about the cost. I don't know, the milkman used to come to my door with bottles every week, and something very, very old-fashioned like that. Like, that's when America was great. And we were not as in debt as we are today, and inflation is out of control because of fiat money being printed in air and not backed by metal, and not backed by metal or commodities. So we have a real problem with money, and the Fed and our government has been deceiving us, and we all were born into debt, right? Assessed to KV Trust, which everybody has hanging over their heads. That's not the Declaration of Independence. That is not our Constitution. We are supposedly to be free and have happiness, own the land, be prosperous. It's not reflective of the Constitution, right? So that whole debt situation has to be dissolved. The Sestu KV Trust and all the debt that's been placed on everybody in the United States through our Social Security numbers needs to be dissolved. And I think President Trump knows that, and he's working on it.
So just to follow.
So you're asking me from the late 50s, early 60s, I think that was when America was great. Our military was great. Our leadership was somewhat great, right? And prior to that, like John F. Kennedy, you know, and Martin Luther King, and even Malcolm X, you know, who was a little violent. Those people were real leaders that you would kind of fall behind, you know. And Martin Luther King was a Zionist, and Jews actually were killed from Queens College. 2 students marching with him were killed, supporting the freedom of the vote, right, for the black
civil rights.
For civil rights, yeah.
So I just have a follow-up question, because you mentioned the 50s and 60s was a time where America was great, right? And then you proceeded to speak about civil rights and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Right.
Was it great only for a certain group of people?
No.
While people were trying to fight for greatness too?
No. I think that there was an enlightening for everybody, and that what? There was an enlightening, I think, for everyone.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up in the Bronx. I had friends from every nationality you can have growing up in the Bronx. You know, sure, in the cafeteria. Oh my God. Hello, how are you? I'm doing an interview. That's okay.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, well, good luck.
Okay, wait, no, I'll be right over.
Okay, I love you. I didn't know this.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, like I grew up in the Bronx. You know, there was Kill Whitey Day in junior high school. I remember
Kill
that.
Whitey?
Kill Whitey
In
Day.
high school, in junior high school.
High school. I was like 13. I'm pushing 70 now, okay? And my dad, being a World War II vet, was like, I don't know if you should go. I don't know if you should go to, school today. And he was a vet. I mean, he was a tough guy, you know? And I said, nah, I'm not afraid of anybody. I don't treat anybody badly. I'm going in. And I went in and nothing happened. But a lot of people chose to stay home. So there was like some prejudice, but when you were actually hanging out with people or in class with people or in gym with people or outside in the streets, you know, at that time people were smoking more cigarettes and marijuana. right? So we're smoking on Marlboros, whatever. Everybody got along. And so it's crazy today. There's too much anti-Semitism, too much prejudice. Black Lives Matter is crazy. All lives matter. And traditionally...
When you say that, you mean the organization or just the slogan, Black Lives?
Just in general, the slogan of Black Lives Matter and the leadership, and I don't know that woman's name, but she took $7 million.
Oh yes, I definitely read up on that.
I mean, so there's more fraud. There's constant fraud and there's constant criminality with all these organizations. And all these people are being paid by NGOs from our taxes that have been given out to all these NGO organizations and even pro-Palestinian organizations. They have no heart here. I don't know anybody here. I'll find out. Is anybody here from Palestine? Is anybody here from Egypt? Where are they from? I've met people here today from Cuba. I have relatives in Venezuela. I have relatives. Okay? I don't know where these people are from. Most of them are crazy Americans, the Gen Z, Gen X. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're just chanting and chanting and getting paid by NGOs. I hope that money comes to a complete stop. And I think that New York and a lot of states are going to be defunded by the Trump administration. And I'm happy.
Hey, we're doing it with Minnesota, right?
Yeah, I'm happy. I hope that, the Trump administration and Pam Bondi and Tulsi Gabbard and Pete Hegseth, all of it, I hope they just, allow everyone to see the truth. The truth has to be revealed,
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I don't know what I said to you. I'm so tired. I'm so tired.
How's it going? Officer. Huh? Yeah.
Are you Hispanic?
Yeah. My dad's Ecuadorian. My mom is Borican.
Boricua?
Yeah.
Ecuadorian Boricua?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you that the last time when we was in front of the library at Bryant Park. We interviewed before. I don't know if you remember me.
You can follow each other on social media.
I think I do. If you hit my Instagram and send me a message, I will make sure I follow you back. Officer, what's the most difficult part about having to police events like this?
First of all, you're recording.
Yes.
Ask me another time.
Okay, no problem. So it's on AG.
Slowly.
AG.
A-G.
The number 1.
1.
West.
Huh?
West, right there. You see it? Down there.
Okay.
Yep, and just send me a message and I'll make sure to follow you.
I'm gonna say hello here.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna keep moving, okay?
Okay.
Officer, how can I get to that side?
This side of Lex. We'll go all the way up to
And then come this way. Okay.
Okay, I West.
Yes. I'll be back. I'm trying to get the other side. Hey everybody, what's going on?
Oh shit, what up?
How's everything?
Good, I'm just exposing Chucky De La Hoya. There's a picture of him touching a little girl.
Chucky De La Hoya?
Yeah, right there, and there's that guy right there.
Who?
That guy with the keffiyeh on with the flag as a cape.
Okay.
Well, Chucky, why are you touching little girls? Why are you touching little girls?
So here we are. We're on the pro-America, pro-Israel side. I'm gonna try to make our way to the pro-Palestinian side. So bear with me. I'm gonna try to walk around. Oh, so can I cross this way to enter? This way? And then I cross the street to come down this way? Where are you trying to go? I'm trying to go over there.
Why do you need to go over there?
But, freedom of press, that's one.
So you're staying on this side to express your freedom of press.
Why can't I go on that side?
Because we're trying to protect the peace right now, okay?
From who? Are you saying that I'm endangering the peace?
Sorry, it's clear. Two sides are...
True, but I'm not on either side. I don't support either side. I'm here to report the news.
You can report from here. Or you should report.
But I can't because I can't speak to them. So what would happen if I cross the street to go over there? Legally, what law am I breaking? No law?
Talk to the officer in the blue. I speak to the officer in the blue.
Officer, this officer here? Excuse me, sir. Officer, how am I able to cross over to this side? And which gentleman would that be? Because as a citizen, I want to know how these citizens got over there and why I cannot go over there.
Go on that side and speak to the sergeant and ask him if you could go over.
Which sergeant?
Right there with the sheriff on his jacket.
Sheriff? You said sheriff?
Yeah, sheriff.
Sheriff. Okay, thank you. All right. I'm trying to see how I can go over there. I know you. Yes. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah, you're driving?
I'm looking for the person in charge here. Are you the person? Are you the highest ranking officer here? Okay, as a citizen, I'm trying to go to this side of the protesters to engage them and report the news. I don't support either side. I'm a neutral party. I just want to engage them in conversation. So how can I legally go over there like these people are? How can I legally do that?
Honestly,
I just saw four people walk right there. So I'm going to cross the street to go enter into there. Am I breaking any laws?
what I suggest is you are pressed, right? I would assume you want to get both sides. We have to find you somebody from DCPI.
Okay.
Maybe they can advise you or something.
Yeah.
I gotta find them somebody from DCPI.
Okay.
Now where are they? I gotta wait and see.
So for the time being, can I stand on that side behind the gate?
No.
Is I'm breaking a law? What law is that?
No, there's no law over there. You can stand over there. That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Just be careful crossing the street.
Thank you, officers. All right, so there seems to be some misinformation that's going around. So I'm going to cross the street because he said I could cross the street. Yeah. Yes, I was told I could. Well, one, I'm legally able to stand over here, and two, I got to go back when he finds a press to take a CI. I think he said to take me inside.
Who did you speak to?
I spoke to all three gentlemen wearing blue jackets there. Community Affairs. Hey, how are you guys? I'm a neutral party. I'm not here to represent any team. Yeah, just my heritage. I want to know, why is it important for people to be out here to help support the cause for Palestine? You know what I'm saying? Why is it important for people to come and support the cause for Palestine?
Because it's a human issue.
I agree. I think it's very destructive of what's happening, especially to the children, the bombings that's happening. What can Americans do to show support or solidarity with what's happening?
I mean, if you want my honest opinion,
Yes, please.
Unfortunately, from what I've seen about Americans in general, there's a real lack of empathy and understanding that, if this happens to anybody in the world, that it could happen to you and people that you love, and if your communities are affected, you're affected. People are all I see are people just into themselves and their world and their scenarios, and I think we've really missed the plot, and it really makes me sad because...
Is this something that Americans should be scared of?
Connecting is freedom.
Is this something that Americans should be scared of happening here, like in America? Because something that was happening there happened here.
What?
Should Americans be concerned that what's happening in Palestine could happen here?
Of course. It already is. I saw 3 people kidnapped today in the street by NYC. It's all the same thing. It's colonization. It's this idea that we actually own whatever we want. It's not even about politics.
If you don't mind, if you could stand here, I could record the mic and just face this way. I won't have to capture your face.
Okay.
If you could just come closer, just
I don't
get the
want to be
mic.
in the camera.
No, the camera's this way. I don't want to get your voice.
Okay. Oh, cool. I'll do that. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So, should Americans be concerned that this is something that could happen here in this country?
Well, again, I believe that it's all connected. I think that colonization is wrapped around things that you're taking something without asking that doesn't belong to you. That breaking international laws. It's what's the point in having laws if we break them? And again, it's I don't know. As a parent, even watching these so-called leaders destroy one another, like nobody believes in conflict resolution, nobody believes in a solution. It's just this never-ending battle of who's better than who. Ego. I just it's really, again, we've missed the plot. I don't know why we don't resolve things. We just carry them on. And everyone wonders why they're... traumatized.
Why isn't the world taking a more firm stance on what's happening to innocent people over there in the
America
Middle
is
East?
brainwashed. Again, I have children, so from a very small age, we're all of us, we're taught to comply and do what you're told. And if you don't, then there's consequences, or you have some kind of disorder or something. It's never just, oh, maybe this environment isn't correct, or this person's brain is wired this way. And it's like there's one way to be in America, and if you go off that path, there's like something wrong with you from birth. You're taught to love the police. Again, brainwashing and mind control is really real over time. But even the division that we all have with one another, it's like, why don't we get involved in actually speaking to one another about our experiences and what it's really like versus just assuming, or no offense, believing the media or the news, like, which is full of so much false information. So I don't know. I think it's just a huge issue overall.
Okay.
I think anybody that's suffering, people should be concerned about.
Okay. Now, I asked an elderly lady over there who was Jewish, about the sign about anti-Israel is not anti-Semitism. Why do you think some Jewish people firmly believe that why do you think that some Jewish people firmly believe that if you're anti-Israel, you're also anti-Semitism?
I mean, again, respectfully, I don't have a religious affiliation. I don't believe in Republican or Democrat. I am a power to the people kind of person based on results. Like, what president has ever had any kind of real results? They're all, it's a Hollywood show. They brainwash us. Like, that's not leadership. But on top of that, sorry, I kind of digressed because I hadn't answered that question.
I'll ask again. Does being anti-Israel mean also being anti-Semitic?
No, I remember that. Well, I think, again, in general, religion, I also just don't believe in religion because I don't believe that anybody's better than anyone else. So if somebody's going around saying that they're the chosen ones, like, I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in hierarchy. I believe that we're all equal. And at the end of the day, even a homeless person has just as much right in this world as anybody else. That's just what I believe. We don't all believe the same thing, but I don't believe, and so here there's this hierarchy, anybody that's talking about being the chosen people, who's to say that this person's not the chosen person? Like, why is one group chosen? Who gets to determine that? Who gets to use that narrative? And I don't know. I've been in PR a long time, public relations and narratives and media really work. When you see the same things in articles all the time, people get used to that and they get brainwashed. It's how criminals become criminals, right? Have you ever met that said criminal? Oh, you haven't? Because you're an editor up here, like, chilling in your office. You know what I mean? Like, we can't really, and people believe that. And, like, I kind of have seen this, like, in real life, so I don't know. This guy's another agitator.
Right, the next question I have, right? A woman told me that the keffiyehs that everyone over here is wearing, they don't know that it means or symbolizes sexually assaulting of people. So I was very concerned because I never heard that before, that this meant grape, right? Can you let me know and what your thoughts and opinions are by wearing a keffiyeh?
Yeah, the keffiyeh, that's not what it is. Again, I think there's a lot of misunderstandings, and when people get to understand it and realize these are olive branches, I mean, there's actually a real history here, straight from the Palestinians. And, like, when you are in movements like this, like, you have a real privilege to be here. And part of that privilege is learning and listening to everybody here and hearing their firsthand experiences, and then, obviously delivering that. So it's not like what I'm saying is just coming out of nowhere. This is straight from Palestinian people, learning that kind of language and understanding this and getting education. Hold on one second.
Okay. Be careful.
I know this is their personal Zionist problem. They can solve it their Zionist way.
So that was a pretty good interview. She was sharing a lot of information about what those who represent and stand for Palestine mean when they come out here. Hopefully I can speak to more individuals and trying to get their understanding of why it's important to come out here and protest on behalf of Palestine and on behalf of every other country that is suffering some form of inhumane acts, whether it's by Israel or whether it's by America, that it's important to defend the human rights of people. Can I ask you a few questions, sir? Okay, thank you. So there seems to have been some type of incident that happened. A lot of the police presence came to in front of the Capital One Cafe building. There seemed to be some type of discussion, and then a further separation of people. I'm not quite entirely sure what happened, but it seemed that there was some level of aggression that increased that needed to be separated. And the police have now are standing in this part of the street to separate both sides further from each other. All right, everyone that's here in the chat, again, if you have any questions that you would like me to ask the people that are out here, we are taking a chat donation. You send a super chat donation and the question you want. Make sure the question is respectful. You want to be polite and respectful when we're talking to people and asking them questions. So send a super chat donation and we can ask a question to either side, whether it's in support of Palestine or whether it's in support of Israel, as long as your questions are respectful. All right. Excuse me. Do you mind if I ask a few questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you so much. Hopefully someone else will speak. Let me see. Excuse me, do you mind if I ask a few questions? Okay, thank you. Excuse me, do you mind if I ask a few questions on why it's important to be out here?
Huh? Go ahead.
Oh, yes, okay. So my name is AG. I'm with the XP show, which is short for experience. And I like to ask people anything and everything on no matter what the subject is. So I was on this side earlier asking some questions, and I thought it'd only be fair to come over here. I want to know why is it important that people support Palestine and what they've been going through for the past 2 years?
You need to support Palestine because there's actually way more than what's been going on for the past 2 years. That was just one event that happened that triggered like a worldwide understanding or like knowing about what's going on in Palestine, but truly it's been going on since the Zionist Israel was created in like 1948 and even before that. It's very important because it's about human rights. So their human rights are being violated constantly for over 77 years, and it's just being intensified at this point. That's why it's important to know the human rights, really.
Who do you think should be in charge, or if that's a lack of a better word, who should be in charge of guaranteeing or supporting human rights for everyone around the globe? Like, is there a group of people, a country, a nation, a body of government that should be supporting and defending the human rights of everybody?
I don't think there possibly could be, but I think the better way to phrase it is punish those who are doing the human rights violations. Not to have people controlling who has human rights or not, but just whenever it happens, the international community as a whole should punish whoever's doing the human rights violations.
So there is an international court, and I know that they have arrest warrants for Netanyahu.
That's true.
Why are they not executing those warrants like Trump executed the warrant on Maduro?
Yeah, because Trump is an ally of Israel, and he's just gonna stick by them tooth and nail, just forever. That's just his agenda. I don't know exactly why. Like, what is our alliance towards the Zionist Israeli state? But it is what it is right now. We have a president that is aligned with the values of Israel, and they're like the superpower. You know, America is the strongest country in the whole world. So nobody wants to intervene in whatever the United States is doing to stop Israel from coming to justice. They're scared of the United States. Yeah.
So then with all the other countries that have power, maybe not at the same level of America, why aren't they stepping in to do something that's happening now? Like, how come no one else? How come Russia hasn't made a firm stance, or France hasn't made a firm stance, or China, or Venezuela when Maduro was still there? Why isn't anyone taking a firm stance and getting involved in what's happening in Palestine?
Honestly, that's a good question. I don't have the answer to it. I just know that most people would like to avoid conflict, so that's like their main stance. It's like they will like condemn it with the greatest condemnation phrase statement that they could come up with. But when it comes to actual action, a lot of people are reluctant to do that, and countries act like people because they're run by people, and they're very reluctant to take action, even though they see the human rights violations. They're still going to be reluctant to take action. That's just what it is.
So I know American taxpayers, their dollars are used for many things happening in this country and outside the country. And I know that part of that goes to funding Israel. Why are Americans not voicing greater opinion and taking a stronger stance on not having their dollars be used to cause incidences like this?
That's also a good question. I think a lot of the American citizens are trying to raise their voice, but unfortunately, whether you call it a conspiracy theory or not, we live in a United States occupied Zionist government. That means that our government and all of our elected officials, they are funded and run by the Zionists, which is AIPAC, that they get funded by them. And yeah, our whole government system is like all aligned with Israel's values because they're typically Zionists in one way, form, shape, or another. And they're gonna like control the narrative, even though the majority of the United States citizens are probably against war and against genocide. The people that are in charge are bought out, or probably Israeli citizens actually running our Congress. That's what I believe.
Earlier, before coming over here, I spoke to a man, and he said he's a proud Zionist. In your opinion, what does it mean to be a Zionist, and is that something that the world should be behind?
I think at this point, and even since its inception, Zionism started from colonialism, but at this point now it's a very genocidal position, a very genocidal stance. So at this point, anybody who's saying that they're a proud Zionist, I believe them to be saying that they're for genocide, and I don't think that's right. That's right. So if you claim to be a Zionist, you are complicit in the genocide.
To add on to that, he also said that it's just a certain amount of people that have gone left that are corrupting what being a Zionist means. And I asked him if that is true, then why hasn't the greater movement of Zionism done something to stop these people from ruining what you consider to be beautiful?
I think their government has become extreme. They become extremified, and they are like a fascist government. So their own people are scared to speak out. So if there are Israeli Jews that live in Israel and are against it, they get silenced. Whatever percentage that is, I believe it's a very small percentage, but whatever percentage it is, they get like silenced because it's a fascist state. They run their country with military might, and nobody wants to speak up about that. Even if there are people that have morals that live in that country, they're scared to speak out because they don't want to face the might of the Israeli army.
Next question. There were some people that I would identify as Jewish over here earlier with a sign that said anti-Israel is not anti-Semitism or anti-Semitic. The other side seems to disagree with that. So is being anti-Israel being anti-Semitic?
If you're anti-Israel, you are not anti-Semitic, because I personally respect every race, religion, but I do not respect the nation of Israel. So there is a differentiation, but the Zionists like to conflate the anti-Semitism with anti-Zionism, and that's just part of their propaganda to try to mix up and make everything confusing. But in reality, there is a differentiation, and conflating it is just a part of what they do that is another crime that they're doing, essentially.
With all the protests that's been going on recently, especially with Venezuela, did Trump make the right decision or the wrong decision, and why?
I think Trump made the wrong decision. He should stay out of politics of another country. I think Trump is not necessarily all there. I think there's people that are in his ear, in his like war cabinet or whatever you call it, the Department of War. It used to be the Department of Defense. But I think people are just like in his ear. He's like Joe Biden at this point. Like he doesn't really have a say.
He's the new Sleepy Joe?
Yeah, he is. He's just because he ran on, oh, I'm the anti-war president, and now all of a sudden he's
dropped bombs,
doing all types of fuck shit, like kidnapping Maduro or whatever. So I don't think that was a good thing to do. I think he just doing it out of greed, and people telling him certain narratives like, oh, you need to get in there because they're narco state, but then it turns into you're stealing their oil. It's a whole bunch of crimes, really. It's criminal activity that they're doing. The United States government, criminal activity.
Now, I was watching on social media and on the news. From what I witnessed, and I don't want to be biased, I'm just saying what I witnessed. I've seen people waving Venezuelan flags, cheering and rejoicing, and I've seen Americans kind of like protesting. What should the public know about what was done? Like, is this something that people should be rejoicing about? Is this something that Americans should be completely against?
I think the people that were rejoicing are a few minority, because if you see videos of Venezuela, people over there in Venezuela, the majority that are protests of hundreds of thousands of people are outside in the streets saying, stay strong, Maduro, we're backing Maduro. And the small minority that is out here in these streets of New York or the other states, they are part of the Maduro opposition that just is out here to say
rejoice for his downfall.
Yeah, for his downfall. But I think in reality they don't understand that. Like, yeah, you could feel like that's a good thing, but it's not gonna be a good thing, because we've seen this playbook. It happened in Iraq, you know, like it's just Libya. It's gonna turn bad. Yeah, Libya.
So with the President Maduro being in the Brooklyn Detention Center, there were many people out there for and against. Do you think that Maduro will be having a fair hearing now that he's here in America?
Fair, that is relative. I don't believe that he's gonna get a fair trial, because New York City is notoriously known for having like the district of the most corruption. I think that's why they brought him here. They could have brought him to DC. They could have brought him anywhere.
To Florida, it was closer.
That's what I'm saying. They brought him to New York because they know this is the most corrupt district with the courts, and they're going to use that to their advantage to push their narrative to align with Trump's narrative of claiming that he's a narco terrorist. So I don't think it's going to be fair. No.
Should other countries be scared that at any moment, if they disagree or don't want to be in alliance with America, that Trump can just send people there?
Yeah, I don't think they should be scared, but I think they are scared. They should stand more on morals rather than fear of might, but that's everybody's own individual opinion, and the countries, they act accordingly. So I would advise you to stand on morals. I would advise any country and government to stand on morals rather than fear. But what can you do? You can't control these other nations' governments. But, yeah.
Yo, now I have a question. I already know your answer. What about you, brother? Do you have a stance on Palestine?
My personal stance on Palestine, so for myself, I am not Jewish, I am a Jew.
All right.
I'm not Israeli, I'm an Israelite.
All right.
I descend from one of the 12 tribes of Israel, which is the tribe of Asher.
All right.
So from my point of view, historically and biblically, what's happening in, let's just say, in my land, is actually.
So you're Palestinian? You're from that land?
Let me explain.
All right, let me explain.
What I, from my point of view, what's happening in my land is that I have people who have converted to the custom and cultures of my ancestors due to our removal from that land, due to Babylon and the Assyrian Empire.
All right.
And some were brought back to teach other people how to live in my land. That's why there is no peace. I believe it's in the Old Testament where it says that some of the Levitical priests were brought back to teach the people how to live on the land. And throughout the years, my people have still continued to sin and not obey God. And we've gone into slavery in Babylon, slavery in Assyria, slavery under the Persians, under the Greeks, under the Romans. And we were brought and scattered all throughout the earth doing slavery. So as a person who identifies as a real Jew, not an Israeli, not a convert through 70 AD, not a convert through the Khazarian Empire conversion, not a convert when Herod the Great, who was an Idumean and not a Jew, when he adopted the customs of the Jews, I don't agree that anyone there belongs, is supposed to be there.
What about the Palestinians?
I think Palestinians, any race of people, any group of people, they can travel and go to wherever they want. But historically, when I read the Bible, right, when I read history, I can only go so far back to see the word Palestine or Palestina.
You know the Palestinians is just a phrase, but genetically, we're from that land for thousands of years. So hear me out, right?
No, I'm listening, of course.
Over time, yes, we were Jewish people, and yes, there were Jews that were kicked out, but a lot of them stayed, and eventually those Jews became Christians. And then when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, came to Palestine, they ended up becoming not Palestine, they ended up being Muslims. So the same people that's indigenous to the land, that was the Israelites, are the Palestinians. If you look, research the people that are genetically closest, DNA-wise, to the 12 tribes of Israel, are the Palestinian Christians, are the leading factor, anywhere from 80 to 90%. The number two is the Palestinian Muslims, which is 70 to 80%. Do I believe the Israelites exist and they scattered? Yes, I do believe it. I do believe we have cousins that are scattered over the world, but I don't believe that we're just there and we should leave. I believe that is our land, and we do welcome the Jewish people. The Jews, not the Jewish, the Jews, we do welcome them, and we welcome them as a part of the land because that land is for Christians, Muslims, and Jews equally, because it's the main hub for everybody. It shouldn't be just a Jew state. It shouldn't be just a Christian state. It shouldn't be just a Muslim state. Every Abrahamic religion, that's the center of every Abrahamic religion, and that should be open for everybody. But as far as the indigenousness, the Palestinians are indigenous to the land. It's just a matter of faith that separated them from Judaism.
Okay. Many of the things that you said I find very interesting. And I would like to invite you, if you ever have time, every Thursday, we host a live show called...
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, if y'all want, y'all can follow me, Palestine News Network, pnn.nyc. You can check me out, guys.
Okay. It's called Cross the Line Radio.
Yes.
Even though I have the XP show, I like to document people's experiences about anything and everything.
Absolutely.
So I like to stay neutral when I come out here. I don't like to talk about myself necessarily. I just want to get the opinions of others and share it with everybody.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
on Cross the Line Radio, which is where I'm streaming on now, because I'm an affiliation with them.
Okay.
They like to host discussions, sit-downs, debates even, about history, about religion, about politics, and they do it every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you ever want, I actually want to invite you personally.
Yes.
If you would like to come onto the show this Thursday, we can exchange information.
Absolutely.
I can send you a live stream link where you can come on live and engage in conversation about any topic, especially this one.
Yes.
I think this would be an extremely great topic to talk about. Who the land belongs to, or anything like that.
It don't matter what I think. It don't matter what you think. We want the truth.
Correct.
Right?
I agree.
And you know what? Even though we might disagree on certain things, which I don't know if we do, we know. Let's find the truth.
Okay.
You know, and that's my mind state.
Okay. So for everyone watching, my name is AG. You can find me on Instagram at AG1West, AG1West. You can DM me. I'll give you my number as soon as we're done. And that way we can stay in contact for tomorrow at 10 p.m.
Inshallah. Much love, definitely.
Do you have another phone? Let me put this. Hold on, everybody. I'm put this on mute real quick. So according to the Bible, anyone who isn't an Israelite, according to the Bible, will be serving the nation of Israel.
So what's your definition of an Israelite?
Israelite is someone whose paternal lineage can be traced to
Jacob?
one of the 12 tribes of Israel,
Jacob.
the father of Jacob.
Yes, so the sons of Jacob.
Correct.
All right. The Palestinians are connected to Jacob.
The Palestinians, from our historical research, are tied to the group of Arabs, which can be traced to...
I have zero Arab lineage. I can even show you my DNA test if you like.
I would love if you can bring that up.
Yes, I'm 97% Levantine.
Okay.
1% Egyptian. No, 2% Egyptian and 1% Arabian Peninsula. I only have 1% Arab in me. But I'm a Canaanite. I'm a real Canaanite.
So a Canaanite biblically would be from the nation of Ham, and not from the nation. Would be from the seed of Ham, and not from the seed of Shem, which Israelites descend from. So Noah had 3 sons: Ham, Sheth, and Japheth.
Right.
Canaanites are linked directly to Ham.
All right.
So that wouldn't be from the line of
I did
Shem.
research on my last name, and they said that we're a break off from the 12 tribes. One of my last names.
Okay, so if your last name is a break off, and let's
basically we were connected to them, but then they changed the last name later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just being historically and biblically accurate, Canaanites trace back to Noah's 3rd son, the youngest son, Ham,
right.
Not to Shem, which is where Muhammad comes from, which is where Abraham comes from.
Arabs.
Yes. Or even the Israelites. Even Esau, the so-called white man, comes from the line of Shem.
Yeah, he's not a white man, by the way.
I'm just using that, you know what I'm saying?
But we don't believe he's a white man. We believe he had complexion like us.
Understood.
With hair of wool. That's
Got
what
it.
we believe.
Well, from the Bible is that he came out red and hairy all over.
Yeah.
In the book of Genesis. So Canaan will come directly from Ham. Israelites, even those who consider themselves to be Arabs, even the Chinese, come from the line of Shem.
Yeah, because it's Asia.
Yes. So that's an interesting fact, and I think that would be something great to point out tomorrow if you do decide to come, and I hope you do.
All right.
That'll be a great discussion with our host, Captain Cesariak and Captain Katazar.
All right. He's not gonna hate me because I'm not black.
Listen, we don't hate anyone unless
I've seen the black Israelites, man.
Well, there's different groups.
No, look, there's different groups. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But from what I see, it comes off very offensive. I'm not, like I said, I don't know you. I don't know your sect. I'm willing to learn with an open mind. But, I don't want to be viewed as somebody that's going to be somebody else's slave. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I understand.
During the end of times.
Yes.
Because us in Islam, we don't believe people are going to be slaves at the end of times.
Okay.
We don't believe in that.
Well, there are many different Hebrew Israelite groups. The group that I belong to, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge.
But let me ask you another question, right?
Can I just finish the statement?
Yeah, absolutely.
The group that I belong to is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, which was started in the 60s. All the other different groups, like let's say there's some that wear purple, there's some that wear like white and red. They all left at some point or another from us, or from a group that broke off from us, or another group that broke off.
So how?
Some believe that you have to get, in order to be with a virgin, you have to get them when they're young teenagers. That's against what we believe in, against what the Bible states. Some believe that it's okay to have interracial marriage. That's not what we believe, or what the book of Deuteronomy states in chapter 7. So these groups all believe in something different than what they were taught when they were part of us. That's why we say we're not affiliated with any other Israelite group, because we don't know what they teach, and what they teach goes against.
All right, so the people that be promoting all that hateful white people are slaves thing, are you against that?
I hate innocent kids.
How do you feel about that?
Repeat the question again.
The black Israelites that say all people are going to be their slaves, the whites, the Arabs, everybody that's not Israelite is going to be their slave and all that, and that they promote a lot of hate toward people who's not Israelites. Do you condone that message, or do you agree with it? Or like, what's your concept on what they preaching as far as that topic specifically?
Now, you stated a lot, so I have to address everything you said.
Yeah. But before we even address, I want to ask you a question, right? How do you say you're an Israelite? How do you know you're an Israelite? Have you taken a DNA test? What made you come to the realization that you're an Israelite and I'm not?
Okay, I'm going to answer that question and allow me to have a conversation to explain.
Absolutely, yes.
No, I have not taken a DNA test that says that they can trace my paternal lineage.
All right.
Right? The reason why I have not taken a DNA test is because, one, when we look at the accuracy of DNA tests and what they can be used for, one, who are in control of these companies? Two, what is the ulterior, the top motivation on why they're doing these things? Are they taking into a fact of migration of groups of people throughout the centuries, right? Whose bones did they determine are going to be used as the sample, or what DNA are they using to be the sample to determine whether you're this percentage of this, or you don't even have a percentage tied to this. So this is what we are skeptical about, because one, being in slavery so many times, we've come to know that we cannot trust those that have enslaved and oppressed us.
Yeah, no, I know, but you still didn't answer the question.
I said no.
How do you know that you're an Israelite?
Perfect. So the way I know that I'm an Israelite, as I go back 4 or 5 generations, each of my forefathers, my paternal lineage, has been, let's just say, in the Americas, indigenous / Negro.
All right.
Right?
But you think all black people are Israelites?
I don't think people with black skin, all of them are Israelites.
All right. That's fair. That's something we could agree on.
Because there's black people in India, but they're not
No,
Israelites.
you're right, and you got not all Africans are Israelites either.
Correct, right? So,
all right.
So
fair.
based on historical evidence, such as evidence being found in Puerto Rico with ancient Hebrew writings, or evidence being found in Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, inside what we call now as the United States, of ancient Hebrew artifacts being found amongst indigenous and native tribes. And even some of the Negro slaves that were brought here, many of them that were brought here,
I'm aware
had
of
Israelite.
that. I'm aware
I'm saying
of that.
why
That's what I'm trying to get back to.
Right. So I know that in order to be of a nation of people, you have to come from the seed of that nation, which comes to your forefathers.
Right.
So as far back as I can trace, all my forefathers don't come from a white man, like of European descent.
Right.
They don't come from an African man. They don't come from what I would consider an Arab man or Asian man. They come from indigenous people or Negro descent in South America and in the Caribbean islands.
Okay.
So that's how I know that I'm an Israelite.
Yeah, but how does that make you an Israelite? You said you saw ancient Hebrew writing. Any Latino could say the same thing. What makes you different than other Latinos?
Right. So when we tie this historical evidence with biblical prophecy, and we understand where these tribes of people went to when the kingdom was split from the northern and southern kingdom of Israel, and how I believe the northern kingdom were taken back across the Jordan River to, I believe, the Assyrian Empire, and that when you read the book called the Apocrypha, you can see that they.
Well, I know all this, but I'm still trying to get back to where you're there.
I'm getting to all this is leading to my answer.
All right.
So based on all that biblical prophecy, biblical history, historical artifacts, and that we can prove that the people living here were the Israelites, the 10 lost tribes that were over there on the east that came over here to the west. That's how I'm able to prove and believe that I'm an Israelite.
Because you could trace back to your forefathers.
My forefathers.
So what did you trace back to your forefathers to give you this information? What exactly?
Speaking to them. So when my grandfather was alive, before he died, I was able to trace back who his father and their father was.
And who was he?
They were all indigenous people of Ecuador, Peru, and Colombia. Area.
All right. But I know you said indigenous of Ecuador, Peru.
Yes.
But how does that make them an Israelite?
So as I was trying to explain to you before, based on the historical evidence that is found that my people here had Hebrew writing, practiced similar Hebrew cultures, or even identical.
So you guys was practicing Hebrew culture?
Correct.
So that's how you know, just based off of tradition?
Tradition,
all right.
And then mixed with the prophecies and mixed with the prophecies that are in the Bible.
So
and the
your
history
family identified as Jewish?
No, I don't believe anyone that calls themselves Jewish.
Did they identify themselves as Jewish?
My dad didn't care much about, because of my family's upbringing, there was a lot of issues with my father and his father. So I had to connect that bridge for myself.
Yeah.
So my grandfather didn't know much about this, but as I spoke to him about who his father was and what he knew about his grandfather, that's how it helped me determine.
I'm gonna be honest, brother. If you're gonna sit here and claim indigenousness to my land, you're gonna need a better proof than that, brother.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
gonna be real with you, because that right there don't cut it.
I understand. I can agree.
It's not enough. Nowhere near enough.
Okay.
You know, I have a DNA test that says I'm from the land. Okay. I can show it to you, no problem.
Can you do that on the show tomorrow?
Yeah, I can do that on the show.
Perfect.
But you know, I really think you should look more into your family. You know what I mean? And don't just assume that you're a 12 tribe of Israelites. You might be. I'm not saying you're not. I don't know. But what I'm trying to say, off of what you told me, it's not enough. It's not enough information.
Well, from my point of view, I would say...
It's not point of view, it's facts. It's not a matter of opinion.
From my perspective, I would say that is more proof than what your DNA would show, because I would say that DNA really doesn't mean anything.
If my DNA says I'm genetically from the land...
Can you allow me to finish? Can you allow me to finish?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So what I could say on the flip side is that everything that I needed to prove is actually valid, and that your DNA test is compromised because we don't know whose genetics we're testing to prove that this person is Nigerian,
But you're going
or
off
that this person is this.
You're
So I
going
can
off
say-
of,
what you're saying to
connecting
me,
dots. I actually took a DNA scientific thing that's scientifically proven.
yeah, and
But you're going off of assumptions.
and what you're
So,
saying
so
to me,
how is your assumptions more valid than my actual DNA test?
because one,
And
when
my
you check-
history, and I've been there for thousands of years, my family.
So-
we have strong roots. So what makes your connecting the dots more valid than my actual proof of my family being there for thousands of years? My family being part of the first Christians of ever.
Coptic Christians, like that. You talking about Coptic Christians?
They're the beginnings. They're the first Christians, right? And we come from them. Eventually, they became Orthodox and Catholic. No one likes you, fucking dirty ass cunt. You fucking Nazi piece of
I
shit.
think this would be great. I think this would be great for a very in-depth discussion
We're gonna do it tomorrow.
where all evidence can be provided, and that way your audience, our audience, can see and engage in this conversation, because I think this is a great conversation.
Look,
And I definitely want you
whatever
to
I
come
say,
tomorrow.
don't take it offensively. But
Have I gotten angry
no,
at all?
I know. But I'm gonna be straightforward. I'm not worried about people's feelings. I'm worried about the facts.
I
So you know what I mean?
completely agree.
If you can handle that,
Yes.
we can have that conversation.
Got it. We're shaking on it. We're
Yeah.
shaking on it.
If
Tomorrow.
if not, learn to control your emotions, man. We're
Exactly.
too old to be emotional.
Exactly.
With men, you
Exactly.
can't be emotional.
I think
you look for the truth, and that's it.
The Bible says men, let's just say men who can't control their emotions are like a city without walls to defend itself.
Yes, exactly.
So you gotta be able to be firm in your discipline and not be so emotional.
I'm sure we'll find things we
Yes.
agree on and things we
Yes.
disagree on. But
So,
let's just find the truth.
So did you text me?
I
That way I can-
texted you.
okay,
I texted
perfect.
you.
So 10 p.m. tomorrow, I'm gonna let both the hosts know that what was your name again? Jesus called.
Yeah,
that Jesus will be
Palestine News
calling.
Network. They probably know who we are. I don't know if you guys know Palestine News Network.
And that way we can have this conversation.
I was just trying to see viewers. That sounds even.
It was higher earlier,
just
but I
curious.
definitely want to have you on the show to talk about this, because this is something that we engage in conversation all the time.
All right, let's do it. All right.
Thank you.
Be
I
safe,
appreciate
brother.
it.
Definitely, no doubt.
Hey, do you mind if I speak with you for a little bit?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
But I appreciate you asking.
Oh, no problem.
In community and service, thank you for using your
No
platform.
problem.
Do you have a page I can maybe follow your work on?
Yes, my Instagram is AG, the number one.
AG1
Yeah, AG number one, direction west.
direction.
Yes, AG1 West.
AG1 West.
Yes.
You have a lot of energy. I don't know how you do it. I take a different position. You like you go towards people.
Yes.
Yeah. I know you.
I'm following you.
Okay, just please just send me a message, that way I can, okay, perfect, follow you back. I like to follow as many people back as possible.
Of course, yeah, I appreciate that. Same here. It's Killian from the recruitment firm.
Yeah, we're that's like the Bronx, same shit. Y'all in the Bronx.
So everyone that's been viewing, I want to say thank you to everyone that joined. We were able to get really good perspectives on both sides, on pro-Israel and pro-Palestine perspective. We even met Jesus, who should be on the call tomorrow. That should be a very good conversation, a very good topic. So make sure that all of you tune in tomorrow. I'm gonna let Captain Tazarek and Captain Kantazar know. Maybe we can make an event. So hopefully it'll be great. Everyone share, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
And beyond